Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Navy intensifies operations against criminals on Nigerian waters. My successor will complete Ibom Deep Seaport, Governor Udom. EU diplomats make 11th hour push for deal on Russian oil sanctions. And now, the news in detail. The Nigerian Navy has intensified its operation engagement to neutralize activities of economic saboteurs in the maritime environment in accordance with its commitment to eliminating criminal activities from the country's territorial waters. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, disclosed this in Port Harcourt during a special Juma prayer as well as an interdenominational church service at the NNS Pathfinder base as part of the Nigerian Navy's 66th anniversary activities. Gambo, who decried the negative effects of the activities of maritime criminals to the nation's economy, assured that the Nigerian Navy under his watch was on the path of realizing the vision of a strong, formidable and credible Navy. Nigeria earned a total of 4.133 trillion naira from its oil and gas resources in 2021. Data released by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has revealed the latest figure dropped by 12.68% compared with total oil and gas earnings of 4.733 trillion naira recorded in 2020. The CBN, in a series of economic and statistical reports, also disclosed that total federally collected revenue for 2021 appreciated by 4.93% to 9.762 trillion naira in 2021 as against 9.303 trillion naira recorded in 2020. Giving a breakdown of oil revenue for 2021, the CBN disclosed that in the first and second quarter of the year, 956.114 billion naira and 918.462 billion naira oil earnings were recorded, respectively, while in the third and fourth quarter, the country recorded gross oil revenue of 1.143 trillion naira and 1.115 trillion naira, respectively. In its analysis of the components of Nigeria's oil revenue in the fourth quarter of 2021, the CBN stated that crude oil and gas exports between October and December 2021 stood at 15.68 billion naira compared with zero earnings in the third quarter. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has expressed optimism that his successor and next administration will complete the Ibom Deep Seaport project by ensuring that with a shoreline of over 29 nautical miles, the seaport creates wealth for the state. Udom, in his speech to mark his 7th anniversary as governor of Akwa Ibom State, said his emergence as governor 7 years ago was a contrast to rewrite the Akwa Ibom story and raise the profile of the state as an emerging industrial hub, as well as to restore peace, civility and tolerance in governance. The third leg of our industrialization agenda was focused on maritime development. Today, the Ibom Deep Seaport, which was awaiting approval by the Federal Executive Council, has finally been approved, thus situating us on the path for the realization of this great and impactful project, the governor remarked. Al Dahara oil field, which is one of Libya's most important fields, will resume production next December after 9 years of hiatus, a source from the National Oil Corporation (NOC) said, indicating that the completion rate in maintenance and infrastructure development has reached 60%. Al Dahara field, which is operated and supervised by the Waha Oil Company, could reach 120,000 barrels per day at the end of 2023 if it receives receives direct funding from the NOC. The Dahara field was subjected to a large-scale sabotage operation carried out by ISIS in 2014, as a result of which it stopped working and producing, and this affected the levels of oil pumping to the Sidra port. Top European Union diplomats have met for a last-ditch attempt to agree on Russian oil import sanctions before their leaders meet to avoid a display of disunity over the bloc's response to the war in Ukraine. According to a new draft of the summit's conclusions, the 27 leaders should agree that their next round of sanctions will cover oil with a temporary exemption for crude delivered by pipeline, a compromise that ambassadors had failed to agree on Sunday. The text, seen by Reuters, which might yet be revised again, would confirm an agreement on seaborne oil sanctions, with pipeline oil supplied to landlocked Hungary, Slovakia and Czech Republic to be sanctioned at some point. One EU diplomat said it represented limited progress, with too many details still to be determined for a full agreement at the two-day summit, where leaders will have few concrete results if the impasse over an oil embargo holds up a wider package of sanctions on the table. Ahead of the third quarter, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) has stressed the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to expand its targeted intervention schemes to support the productive sectors of the economy, reacting to the recent hike in the monetary policy rate (MPR) by the Monetary Policy Committee of CBN from 11.5% to 13%. The Director General of the Chamber, Dr. Chinyere Almona, stated that interest rate hikes will not on their own curb inflationary trends. She noted that the increase was well expected by the chamber following recent fundamentals in the economy, adding that it is well understood that the hike was meant to control the rising inflation rate and feared to assume a galloping trend soon. CBN has always maintained that Nigeria's high inflation rate was due to non-monetary factors outside its purview, but we have consistently pointed at factors responsible for the rising inflation, including an epileptic supply of premium motor spirits (PMS), high cost of diesel, electricity tariff hikes, insecurity, and the illiquidity crisis of the foreign exchange market. These factors have continued to put pressure on the cost of production, translating to higher prices or cost-push inflation, she said. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Navy intensifies operations against criminals on Nigerian waters. My successor will complete Ibom deep sea port, Governor Udom. EU diplomats make 11th-hour push for deal on Russian oil sanctions. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.